How are we looking?
You're all set. You're rolling.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, you've been a star forever, and you're still as big a star as you've ever been. You've got these 6 Video Music Award nominations. How do you feel about that?
Kind of overwhelmed. I'm very grateful for the nominations and for all the votes.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the video process? Do you like to make videos?
Not especially.
Yeah.
No, not especially.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. It's just work. It's sometimes it's really fun. Like I enjoyed doing the Hurt video.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed doing that very much because I felt we were doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
That it was something that was kind of special.
It was a very emotional video. I mean, did you feel very emotional
I did.
doing it?
I did. I felt very emotional doing the Hurt video. Yes.
Where did the song come from? Did Rick Rubin play it for you and say, "We're going to do this song"?
Yeah.
What did you think when you first heard it?
Yeah, Rick played the song for me, and when I heard the record, I said, I can't do that song. It's not my style.
Yeah.
He said, well, let's try it another way. Let me do something. So he put down a track, and I listened to it. So we started working on that. From there, we started working on it until we got the record made.
No. How did he approach you to be on his label?
I was doing a show in California, and when I came off stage, my manager, Lou Robin, came to me and said, there's a man here named Rick Rubin that said he would like to meet you, that has a record company, and he would like to record you. And I said, I don't want to meet him. And he said, yeah, I think you might like him. I said, why? And he said, well, he's different. He's not like the rest of them.
So true.
And so I told him to bring him back, and so I went back, and there's Rick, and immediately I liked him. Mm-hmm. And I said, so if you had me on your record label, what would you do that nobody else has done? And he said, what I would do is let you sit down before a microphone with your guitar and sing every song you want to record. Just you and your guitar. Mm-hmm. And I said, you're talking about a dream I had a long time ago to do an album called Late and Alone. And he said, that's it. He said, that's the kind of record that we want to make. Well, that was my first American record.
Uh-huh. And looking back at all that you've done, do you have any regrets about what you've done, or do you think there's so much you've accomplished?
I used to, but I don't. I forgave myself.
Yeah. That's good.
When God forgave me, I figured I better do it too. So everything's all right now.
But going back to songs like Folsom Prison Blues, and that's about shooting somebody, and some of your songs are about, God, love, and murder. Did people criticize you for that sort of song back in those years?
Always have.
Yeah.
They always have. I've always had that pointed up in my face that I wrote a song with a line in it, like I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
No.
But I wasn't the first. In the late 20s, country singer Jimmy Rogers, in one of his Blue Yodel songs, had a line that says, I'm going to shoot poor Thelma just to see her jump and fall. He may have been the first to write a line like that. I don't know. But I wasn't thinking of Jimmy when I wrote it. I was thinking that I was in that prison. That's where I try to put myself in the place of that I'm singing about. You can't let people delegate to you what you should do when it's coming from way in here,
No.
And somebody comes up in your face with something, tells you what you ought to do, then you can take them at their word, or you can just turn your back. I wouldn't let anybody influence me into thinking I was doing the wrong thing by singing about death, hell, and drugs.
No.
Because I've always done that, and I always will.
So you were married for more than 30 years. What's the secret to that? How do people stay together that long?
We were together 40 years. We worked on the road together since 1963. and we got married in '68. And the secret for a happy marriage: separate bathrooms.
Really? That's it?
I think so.
When June passed on, did she have any advice for you? Did she say, keep going, keep making music? Or?
Oh, she always said that. Oh, yeah. She was my great encourager. She loved the Hurt video. She loved it. And I'm so glad she lived long enough to see it do what it did and to get the attention that it got. Because she did love the Hurt video. And she was my biggest critic, too. If she didn't like something that I did, she told me about it in a hot minute.
I imagine it must be to be married so long and then to lose someone. I imagine people would sometimes just want to stop and say, because spouses sometimes just follow each other, but you're still going and ready to go. Where do you get the energy, the strength?
She told me in the hospital, said, go to work. I said, what are you talking about? She said, don't worry about me, go to work. And at the funeral, I could almost hear her saying, go to work. 3 days after the funeral, everybody said, you're crazy. But 3 days after the funeral, I was in the studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I stayed in the studio for 2 weeks. And it was great therapy for me, and I think I accomplished more in that couple of weeks than in most of the other year combined.
How much has record making changed? Well, it's changed a lot, I'm sure, since you were at Sun Studios. Is it just way out of control now? Is it just too big?
Oh, no, it's easier.
Oh.
It's easier. But with all the new technology, it's great.
Wow.
But with the Pro Tools and all that.
I wonder how you, when you look back at what you've done, do you realize this monumental amount of work that you've created and what it means in American music? Do you feel like you're in a monument of American music, or do you just look at yourself as John Cash?
Just as John Cash.
You must know how people feel about you, right? Do you hear from a lot of fans all the time?
Yeah, quite often. I hear from a lot of fans, yeah. I do. Look, I appreciate all that, all the praise and the glory, but it doesn't change the way I feel about anything, really. I just do what I do and just hope the people enjoy it and just try to be myself in whatever I do.
No. We've talked to a lot of younger musicians, like Kid Rock and Bono from U2. You have so many fans among musicians. I mean, do you get to meet them, or do they write to you or call you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get to meet them. I talk to Bono quite often, and I've never met Kid Rock yet. I'm looking forward to it. My little world has been kind of limited, lately, since June's death. I've kind of hung close to home here.
You were there at the beginning of rock and roll music. Do you still keep in touch, like Jerry Lee Lewis? Do you hear from any of these people?
I haven't heard from the Killer in quite a while. I get an invitation to his birthday party every year. I haven't heard from him in quite a while.
Yeah.
I understand he's doing well. Glad to hear
so.
that.
Yeah.
I love the Killer.
Yeah.
We're good friends.
Yeah. Do you remember touring with those people? On
Oh, yes. I toured with him. There was a package of myself, Jerry Lee, Roy Orbison, and Carl Perkins.
Wow.
We toured all over the United States and Canada.
So you're out on the road in the early days with Jerry Lee and all these people, and it was a pretty crazy times.
We were all young and wild and crazy.
How crazy were you?
I was crazy as you can get. I mean, crazy. Yeah. About the time we were doing these tours, we discovered amphetamines, or I did, anyway. And Jerry was, he thought he was going to hell for not preaching. He went to seminary, and he wanted to be a preacher, but he turned to rock and roll, and he'd tell all of us, he'd go into a tangent some night backstage and tell us all we were going to hell for singing the kind of music we were singing. I said, maybe you're right, Killer. Maybe you are. Maybe you're right. I don't know. don't know.
I wanted to ask you, I think people that have no faith probably look at death as something very scary, but you believe and you have faith. I mean, does it make it easier to look ahead and say, well, my life may end, but it's been good, I'm not afraid?
Oh, I expect my life to end pretty soon. You know, I'm 71 years old.
Yeah.
And I have great faith, though. I have unshakable faith. I've never been angry with God. I've never turned my back on God, so to speak. I never thought that God wasn't there. That I knew that. So He's my counselor. He's my wisdom. All the good things of my life come from Him.
Where do you think we go afterwards?
Where do we go? When we die, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we all hope to go to heaven.